Well, what I would say was don't be overwhelmed. When I looked at first, I thought it's going to be very difficult, very time consuming. It is so much easier than you would actually think. And there was a lot of satisfaction in getting it done and getting it done properly. Well, the first thing was when my mum passed away, we were aware that she was dying, and my brother had looked into confirmation. I had no idea. I had never even heard of it. I just assumed somebody left a will, that's the way it worked. My husband had died about 11 years ago, but obviously I succeeded, or whatever the word is, so I didn't need to do any of that. And then when my dad died, it was my mum, so also I didn't need to do any of that. We had looked into costs. I find it quite funny because my mum wasn't, I wouldn't say she was tight with money, but she didn't like to spend more than she needed to. So when we were discussing and we're saying, well, you know, if we can do it cheaper and it's the same outcome, we're not doing anything that's not right, you know, we're doing it the correct way, the legal way, and just gathering the information. So cost did have a big part to play in it, as well as the time factor. I remember when my husband had died, the only thing I did through a lawyer then was to change the title deeds. Now that was 11 years ago. And I remember my bill was something like £500. Now that was, as I say, 11 years ago, and that was just to do that. Mm-hmm. So I knew it would be thousands. I didn't think it would be less than that. I definitely didn't. And for me also, time was the factor in that. To get my mum's house up for sale, we were getting towards sort of Christmas time, and I thought if it takes so long, I don't really want, I mean, it might be that it's empty over Christmas, you know, the sale might not go through till then, but I thought if I use a traditional lawyer, it could take a lot longer, and we could be talking 5-6 months before, you know, that gets through. And that was another factor in choosing to do it this way. So we began the sort of looking into it process, and then when she passed away, really my brother had done a lot of the research online, so he suggested that we do it this way. And one of the reasons was because of the length of time it seemed to take if you were going to a lawyer in an office, for instance, the sort of traditional type, that way. And we thought it's going to take quite a long time coming and going. So we decided that we would do it this way. Obviously, one of the attractions was the cost. The other attraction was being able to gather all your information at your leisure. Like I could do it in the evening, send off an email if I needed to. I wasn't limited to an appointment with a lawyer in the office, or I don't know with COVID at the moment whether that's a thing, but even a telephone call. So it was so much easier just being filling in forms online. I found the sort of evidence or everything that I had to get together was a bit of a, it took a bit of time, but having said that, as I say, it was in my control. I could do it when I could do it. Within 10 days, which I was absolutely astounded at, within 10 days, I got the phone call to say, to ask me to pay for it, obviously, and that would be that through. So it seemed daunting, but it was fairly straightforward and much quicker, both the filling in of the form and getting the confirmation back. Both of these things were much quicker than I thought they would be. again, the overwhelming bit, it looks really difficult, but it's not. And it's so much less stress at a very difficult time. At one point, I couldn't really put my mind to it, but then once I got into it, it is so much quicker. It was a relief, to be honest, to get it done this way in the time frame. Because actually it's only 6 weeks, since my mum passed away, and that's everything done and dealt with.